All right, we are on to section 10.2 and learning how to write radical expressions in fraction form or exponent form. Okay, so the numerator is the power and the denominator is the radical. So if I have let's see, if I have x to the AB, that's the same as writing that as x to the a power of the b root. So when you have 81 to the 1/2 power, that's like saying, well, I have 81 to the power of 1 square rooted. So effectively 81 to the 1 power is 81, and you square root 81, and that gives you 9. Okay, same thing goes with fractions. Now I have 1 to the 1/3. Don't forget that the distribution goes to everything, and 27 to the 1/3, which is the same as writing that as the cubed root of 1 to the 1 power over the cubed root of 27 to the first power. Okay, the cubed root of 1 is 1 to the power of 1 is 1. So that's 1 over what's the cube root of 27? It's 3. Okay, you also might be asked to use radical notation to write the expression. Assume all variables represent positive real numbers. Okay, so basically they want you to put it into radical form. Okay, that 3 is not included to the 1/2. So that tells you it's going to be 3 times our radical. The x goes inside, it goes to the first power over 2. Now this 1 here, I do not need it. Remember, anything to the first power is just what it is, so you don't have to include it. If you want to, there's nothing wrong with doing that, but you do not need it. So really, this is 3 times the square root of x. And this 2 with square roots, with root powers, is not needed as well. Anything else, any other number, if it's a cubed root, you have to put the 3 here. But if it's a square root, it's assumed that this is 2, unless there's a number there. Okay, you might get something that looks like this. Okay, so you're going to rewrite this as the 5th root of 243 squared. Okay, and powers and roots, it does not matter which one you do first. I personally do the root first, so I will do 243, the 5th root of 243, which happens to be 3, I believe. So when I take the radical, I do the 5th root, and that becomes 3, and then I need to square it, which then results in 9. And here you might get something like this. You just have to rewrite it. So you've got the 5th root, parentheses 2x minus 3 to the power of 4. All right? You can also write it as the 5th root of 2x minus 3 all to the power of 4. Okay, they're one and the same. I didn't check with Math Excel, but they should be the same. This was the only way I tried it with Math Excel. Now, remember when we learned about multiplications with the same base? What did we do there? If we had x squared times x to the 3rd, remember that's the same as x 2 plus 3. So it's going to have same thing's going to happen here. So you're going to go 3 over 7 plus 6 over 7. And because they got the same denominator, you can add them straight across, and that gives you 9/7. If the denominators are not the same, don't forget you need to make them the same to get there. We're going to use rational exponents to simplify the radical. Okay, so that means I'm going to go backwards. And so my x is going to come here, and I'm going to make a fraction. The 12 is my denominator, and the 6 is my numerator. Well, I don't really like 6 over 12. I need to simplify that. So really, that's the same as x to the 1/2. And if you have to put it back into radical expression, that's the square root of x. Okay? Now you can write it like this, or you can write it like this. Doesn't matter. They're both the same. And then you're going to get something like this. Use the radical exponents to write a single radical expression. Assume that all variables represent a positive real number. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite the fourth root of y. So that means it's y. I'm going to make my fraction over 4. What's my numerator? Remember, if there is no number, it's an implied 1, times y. The denominator is the 3. The numerator is the 2. So that's the same as writing y to the 1/4 plus 2/3. Now, I do not have a common denominator, so I need to get one in order to add these. That would be 12, so I'm going to multiply this by 3 top and bottom, and this guy by 4 top and bottom. So therefore, I should have 3/4, y to the 3/4 plus 8, oops, that should be 12, 8/12. So 3 plus 8 is 11. So I get y to the 11/12, but they wanted it in radical expression, so I need to put it back into this. The denominator goes here, which is 12, and the numerator goes there to the y. All right, practice with these. Don't forget your fraction rules. Be willing to go forwards and backwards with this. Put it into fraction form, then radical form. Email me or ask me in class if you have any questions.